The Nintendo 64 versus the Nintendo GameCube. Which is better?
Starting with the N64, it was released on September 29th, 1996. Unlike the PlayStation 1, it used cartridges instead of discs. I already made a video talking about those two.
Also, a launch title for this game was Super Mario 64. Now that's awesome.
It also had a really awkward looking controller, but however, I never found that as that big of an issue. I felt it was actually really easy to use, in my opinion.
It also had a memory card, which, strangely enough, actually went on the back of the controller than actually in the console itself. The console used a traditional directional pad, a new fancy analog stick, which is pretty new at the time, a start button, B and A buttons, some C buttons for camera usage, which is pretty neat at the time, shoulder buttons, and a Z button. Now, that's a lot of buttons. It also had some of the best games of all time on this console, and they're absolute classics to this day.
Now for the Nintendo GameCube. It doesn't use cartridges anymore. Nope, it uses compact discs, which is pretty cool. You put them in on the top of the console like so, and you get to hear that oh so nostalgic startup screen. Now this is a Nintendo GameCube controller, and I gotta say, this is probably the best controller in video game history, and it's still being used to this day. It pretty much refined what the N64 had. It had the best control stick in history, a D-pad, a start button, B, A, Y, X buttons perfectly placed, a C stick replacing the C buttons, L button, R button, and a Z button. Now trying to pick what console is better than the other is like trying to pick your favorite kid. You just can't do it. However, the GameCube is really just a sequel to the N64. Let me explain.
Now, the first Paper Mario was released on the N64, while the sequel was released on the Nintendo GameCube. Coincidence? Let's keep going.
Then we got The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time released on the N64, and the sequel, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, released on the Nintendo GameCube. Let's keep going a little further. Now I know what some of you are going to say. Ocarina of Time sequel is Majora's Mask. Well, you're kind of half right there.
You see, the Zelda timeline actually splits off into 3 different categories, and technically, from Ocarina of Time standpoint, the sequel actually goes on to Wind Waker as explained in the Wind Waker story.
So the story technically splits from here on out. The adult timeline is Ocarina of Time, then the Wind Waker. However, in the kidling timeline, you have Majora's Mask. And here's the real kicker here. What's the sequel to Majora's Mask? Well, it's Twilight Princess, and also which released on the Nintendo GameCube. Now I can keep going, but I think you guys get the idea. They're both equally as awesome in their own right, and both deserve their praise.
Now, for which one's better, I would just keep it at a tie.